Alrighty, people. How you darn? How you darn?
How we feeling, baby? Yeah.
Fantastic day. It's a fantastic day to do a mock draft. Every day is a fantastic day, but today in particular because you're here. All right, because we're here, because we'll never get this day again, and we get to spend it together. All right.
Wow.
Motivational, right? Put me in the locker room. Let me hype them up.
Come on.
What's up, Vikes for life? We see you in the chat. Joel says Aiyuk to the Pats gonna hit like crack for May managers. What's up, Styles?
Oh my God.
Styles says make these injuries stop. What other injury happened? Was it the CMC one? What's up, Daniel? What's up, Yeet Man in the building? We got Paul in the building. We got Gator in the building. We got Brizzleton in the building. Shout out to all of you guys. Now, Lindell says late land.
Late land, yeah.
They're calling us out. I love it. They're calling us out. I was
Honestly,
actually late because I was recording my guys for you guys. That's going to come out, I think, your Sunday. And essentially, it's 8 players that I'm staking my reputation on this year. It's going to be called Players That I've Fallen in Love With for Fantasy. And it's, I think, going to be fire. So I'm excited for you guys to watch that. But there is some news that we should talk about. Maybe Brandin Aiyuk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely think we should.
So Brandin Aiyuk here. CMC has now called Aiyuk a former teammate in an interview. Now, why am I talking about Ricky? Why am I talking about Pretty Ricky? The reason is because this guy has been breaking news and it's pissing off all the insiders. There was like some really important piece of breaking news that he broke this offseason and people are like, wait, how did you know that? And then he just keeps hitting. He keeps hitting on like all this breaking news and all the insiders are starting to talk about him on like NFL Network, ESPN. All the insiders are getting pissed because this guy, this stupid dog icon Twitter account is like nailing all of the important news. And he recently said that he thinks Brandin Aiyuk is going to be a Steeler. In fact, he said he will be a Steeler. He said the deal is done. So this is his latest. He said he's going to be a Steeler. Like, people call me a fraud. It's going to make it that much sweeter when I'm right. So I don't know. Like
I mean, it doesn't feel like that right now because all the reports coming out saying that the Steelers are no longer in the race.
I don't know if you caught up with the latest report though, because they said they were back.
Exactly, they're back in the race now. So I don't know. If I'm Brandin Aiyuk, let's talk about it. If I'm Brandin Aiyuk, where you're probably going to the place that's going to give you the most money. Number one, 2, you're also looking at the location. So it's Cleveland, Pittsburgh, or Massachusetts, essentially, right? And also quarterback play. Out of all these guys, the 2 quarterbacks that you want is probably Deshaun Watson and or Drake May.
Yeah,
I don't know. The Steelers don't feel like the lead runner because I'm not wanting to go there with the question marks at quarterback. But the history of success.
Let me just tell you what I've heard. Okay, what I have heard personally, and I don't know if that's true or not, but what I have heard is this is all these reports, all this news coming out recently is not from the IU camp. This is from 49ers, and this is like their last ditch effort to like, hey, whoever's in, like, get in right now. Let's talk about this. Like, you got to give us like your best offer. And from what I have heard, Aiyuk does not want to go to Pittsburgh or does not want to go to the Steelers. He does not want to go to the Browns. Now, those are the 2 trades that the Niners have agreed to. Those are the 2 teams that have given Niners a package that they like and that are going to pay Brandin Aiyuk the money he wants. But apparently, he doesn't want to go there. It sounds like he wants to go to Pittsburgh. And ultimately, he also has some leverage, right? Because the team that's trading for him, they got to know he's in. So, can I just say, I think maybe the realistic outcome is he's still a Niner. As boring as that is, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Have you saw the interview with CMC and when he was like former teammate and then he goes, oh, actually,
we just talked about that. Yeah, right here. We just talked about that.
I think that's a bit sus too. Like he knows he's gone. We just don't. I think he already knows where he's going. It just hasn't been said.
Well, even when he said former teammate, he like looked back and he was like, is this live? Type 5,
yeah.
You know? He's like, wait,
yeah.
But it could have just been a slip. But here are 4 trade proposals. So one is the Browns. The Browns send Amari Cooper a 2nd and a 4th. The Niners send Aiyuk and a 5th. This would be awful for Amari Cooper. I actually feel like for fantasy, I wouldn't mind this for Aiyuk. Like he's like automatically going to be one of those guys who gets 150 targets if he goes there, in my opinion. Outside the Browns, we have the Patriots. I don't see why the Pats would send their first round pick. With how bad they are as a team across the board, I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever for them to send their first round pick. And why are we even talking about Kendrick Bourne? Like, what the? This is an older player coming off an ACL tear. Why is this a part of a package? Don't understand it at all. The other one we've heard, the Commanders are out, so this doesn't seem realistic to me.
That's phenomenal. Anyway, that's phenomenal that they're out. Get them out.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think about it. Like, what will we send? We would send like maybe a second and Jahan Dotson. That would make a lot of sense for the Niners, I think, if they're going to get a talent like Jahan Dotson on a cheap contract. But anyway, it sounds like we're out. That means, to me, that tells me we're happy with our room. That means maybe Luke McCaffrey is showing up. And that means maybe Jahan Dotson bounced back. I don't know. But anyway, Brandin Aiyuk, where do you guys think he's going? I want you to tell me in the chat right now, if you had to stake your reputation on it, what team do you think Brandin Aiyuk ultimately ends on? I'm going to go ahead and say I think he's a 49er. I just think he's a 49er. I don't think he changed his team. What about you? This is a team on a playoff run.
I think he's leaving, but he wants to get paid. I think we've seen people get paid and go to shit teams as long as they get that bag. And then the second time they go to a new team. I think what makes sense, if I'm Brandin Aiyuk, I'm willing to grow. I'm still young. I'm willing to grow with the quarterback. The history of success at that organization is New England Patriots.
Okay. So you think
from the reports? From the reports, yes. I think the New England Patriots, with the options that I'm given, I say New England Patriots makes the most sense if I'm Brandin Aiyuk.
Okay. It could, but you're also potentially putting yourself on a terrible team, and you might not ever see postseason success unless May is good, which we think he could be. But anyway, fun to talk about. I don't think anyone really knows, and maybe only Slick Ricky knows. Not Slick Ricky. I mean, not Slick Ricky from the Niners, but the other Ricky. Anyway, all right, guys, do us a favor, smash that like button. We got a like goal today of 65 likes. If we reach 65, we'll pop off a second mock draft for you guys. We're only 25 likes away from there. Here are your projections, your suggestions on where he's going to play. 369 says the Niners. We got another Niners, Steelers, Browns, Chargers. That would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. So most people are guessing the Steelers at this point is what it looks like. But we are going to be doing a mock draft. And by the way, if a trade goes down, it actually changes everything. Like, that's the last thing I'll just quickly say before we move on. If a Brandin Aiyuk trade actually goes down, it changes literally everything. Like, George Kittle all of a sudden is like in the conversation for tight end 1 overall. We could also see Brandin Aiyuk's value plummet. We could see a wide receiver that gets traded to the Niners plummet, like if it's Amari Cooper. This could absolutely help Deebo Samuel as well. CMC, Deebo Samuel, Kittle could all get huge bumps if they don't bring a receiver back. Maybe Ricky Pearsall is like, and we've talked about this, if Aiyuk gets traded, Ricky Pearsall is like the #1 beneficiary in a dynasty league. So so much could happen. And you might even make a case that like there's less reason to be all in on Brock Purdy this year as a late round pick. Not to say that he won't succeed, but how efficient, how good Aiyuk was on a per touch basis down the field, you know? So anyway, interesting conversation, but we are going to do a mock draft today. And if people would like to join us, Badaki, how can they go about joining this mock draft?
Yeah, guys, join our Discord. That link is in the description. I also put that link in the chat. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs to the left of your screen. Go to announcements, and that's exactly where I'll be posting each and every mock draft in the future. I'll send that link out now. So once again, join our Discord, link in the description. Link is in the chat. Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. Go to announcements. 3, 2, 1. That link is out. First come, first serve, by the way, guys. So keep that in mind. And if you hit that like goal, you might have another opportunity to do another draft, okay? So make sure you hit that like.
Exactly. All right, so this is a 1 quarterback PPR tight end premium start 9. Start 9 meaning we have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 3 flex spots. This is PPR tight end premium. Let's get this thing going here in 3, 2, 1. Now, if there's enough people in the chat, what I did last time, because I know we got some people who watch us who draft on ESPN. If there's enough people out there who want me to do it, I will. So let me know. I can pop into an ESPN mock for you guys if you want to see ESPN next to sleeper, and we'll talk about both of those mocks as we go. I was very curious to see if CMC would no longer be the 101. Now, the injury doesn't look serious to CMC, but clearly it's scary enough for people to now not consider CMC at the 101. Calf strain, he dealt with a calf strain last year, but there's no indications that he won't miss time this year.
And that's what I was going to say.
Or that he will.
Since it was a similar injury from last year, and he did play. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he potentially missed. Did he miss a game last year?
I think he missed one game.
Yeah, he missed a game. I don't know if that was during the time where he had an injury, but he definitely came back. He definitely played with that injury and was still successful. I'll take Bijan Robinson here.
Yeah, he missed one game. He missed one.
Yeah, so I think he'll be all right at the moment, unless we get closer and closer the week before, and he's like, well, CMC is not really progressing, or he's still not practicing. In reality, he doesn't have to practice, but still.
In reality, he can miss week 1 and still be the RB1 overall finish.
No question.
That's what's crazy about it. All right, so in the first 8 picks, we get 3 running backs, and we get 5 wide receivers. I'm going to add to the wide receivers here. I'll take A.J. Brown at the 109, start 9 PPR league. We'll see if I'm able to pull off my favorite strategy once the comeback hits. Shout out to Kim K. Am I right?
You get a lot of shouts out recently.
Shout outs to Kim K.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get famous too. WG says CMC got married. He's probably 50 pounds overweight and lost 10 steps like me. You're just projecting, WG. All right, we can't just project.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kidding. Lindell says ESPN sucks. Parson says any pause in drafting CD if he's not in camp. We've talked about this before.
About that, yeah.
We need to wait and see how long this holdout lasts before we can give a good answer on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gibbs goes after A.J. Brown, then Saquon Barkley, Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, and a name that we are used to seeing locked and loaded into round 1, Puka Nacua, is still available. Now, Puka Nacua is dealing with that knee injury, and I think Puka is going to drastically fall down ADP, not only because of the injury, but because there was a report that came out recently where this team basically said this offense is going to funnel through Cooper Kupp. Now, I still think Puka Nacua is the wide receiver to own in this wide receiver room, but it is just something to note. And if it's going to scare off enough people, it won't scare off me. I'll take him here at the 204, starting with A.J. Brown and Puka Nacua. I still think Puka is the guy to own. If you look at splits when we had Stafford, Kupp, and Puka all healthy last year, Puka Nacua was the better wide receiver. And we didn't even see Puka Nacua get the red zone usage yet either compared to Cooper Kupp. So that can change. That's a very fickle thing to rely on touchdowns. So there could be a turnover in that. And I haven't heard any indication that Puka Nacua will miss time.
Let's go Atlanta Falcons here today here. I completely agree. I think, if anything, there should be more of an indication of potentially Cooper Kupp rising up draft boards. He's normally locked in middle of the 4th, late 4th. Does he rise into the early 4th round now? Maybe even sneak into the 3rd round. So we'll wait and see with that as well.
Yeah, well, we had 369 say he felt the 209 in a mock earlier that he was in, which is crazy. But no, I'm not concerned about Puka. I mean, guys, he just had the best rookie season ever from a wide receiver. So I mean, and you're not even having to draft him in the 1st round anymore. Yeah, I'm totally willing to take that shot personally. Scribble says the Cooper Kupp report is so dumb. Luke, I guess Puka and Kupp will both be extremely involved, and I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I think that's too much Atlanta Falcons to bet on, Badaki. Personally, I was gonna be straight up honest with you. That is too many Falcons.
I said it too. I was like, I'll be honest. I was contemplating between ET and London. I've never done this strategy before, but yes, I think I feel pretty confident in Bijan Robinson in his production, but Drake London is definitely up in the air for me. Coming in, so I definitely get what you're saying, but
I think just personally, I couldn't invest that much Falcon in the first 2 rounds. It's just we're still projecting that offense to be good. Whereas, like, if you were to go like AJ Brown, Saquon, that offense is already good. You know what I'm saying? But
Sure. I get what you're saying.
We do get Etienne at the 209. I love that pick for Daniel Macy. I was probably going to go Etienne if I didn't go Puka Nacua at the 204, but I felt like Puka was the better pick at that point. I didn't want to force a pick just to say I did it a certain strategy. And we've talked about that so many times, guys. However the board falls to you is how you should draft. If it marries perfectly with the strategy and it's seamless, then great. But don't force a strategy if it's clearly not the best player available on the board, right? We've talked about Anchor round 2 running back before. But yeah, over 100 people watching. That's right, Gator. Big shout out to all of you guys watching. Appreciate you.
Come on,
Do us
baby.
a favor, hit that like button. We got a like goal today of 65.
Welcome in.
We're only 15 likes away from that goal. So with your help, I'm confident we can get there. Subscribe if you want to hang out. We'll be doing mock drafts all off season. And we will be doing real drafts, live streaming them on the channel with some of our followers as well. So in round 3, we saw Aiyuk, Evans, Debo, Diggs, Laporta, Jacobs. You took Jalen Waddle at the 307. Incredible pick. In fact, I think that's the best pick of the third round. So while I don't like the Falcons start, I think you got the best pick in round 3.
Hey, give me that sandwich, baby. Talk me up. Talk me up.
By the way, I personally feel like Debo Samuel, if an Aiyuk trade happens, he's a second round pick. And if you playing underdog or whatever, and you were able to get Debo in the 3rd or 4th round before all this trade rumors, I think you should feel very, very good about it. Okay, so I'm not someone who's comfortable taking Isaiah Pacheco in round 2, but if he falls to round 3, I am super comfortable taking him in round 3 to anchor my running back room around. So we'll take him in round 3 here. I thought he was the best player available at that time. Averaged over 15 points per game last year, and this offense should be better. Like, remember, guys, the Chiefs' offense was pretty average last year. The defense is what really helped them win a Super Bowl. Imagine if this offense is like even 10-15% better. How many more rushing touchdowns could we see for Isaiah Pacheco?
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Pacheco. Malik Neighbors going there at the 310, looking like an absolute dog at Cam.
Yes, sir. I love me some Malik Neighbors.
Be careful.
I love me some Malik Neighbors. I got so much in our dynasty leagues.
I actually, for real, might get a jersey. Like, I want to wait. I want to wait to see what number he's actually going to be. I don't know if he's going to be, I think it's number 9 right now.
The 9 looks clean.
And the 9 is clean, but I feel like it's going to be one of those last minute changes potentially, or I don't want to buy a jersey now and then next year Daniel Jones not on the team and he's like, oh, I want to go to 8. Right?
right.
Like, I'd rather wait a little bit, but I love Malik Neighbors. James Cook going there at the 310. I had him on my queue, hopefully to come back there.
We now, Hawk Tua. A super chat from Colin. I mean, if anybody donates a super chat, we will absolutely prioritize that question. So big shout out to you, Colin. Thank you for donating. He says, thoughts on taking AJ Brown at the 108 over JJ. I am personally not taking AJ Brown over Justin Jefferson. I will still take Justin Jefferson, but I don't think it's crazy. I'm not going to sit here and say like you're insane if you're going to do that, but I just think Justin Jefferson is the better player overall. I think he has less competition for targets, but he's on a better offense. And you think about AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, we got to deal with Dallas Goedert. We got to deal with Saquon Barkley. We got to deal with. We got to deal with a rushing quarterback on the goal line. In Minnesota, the offense might not be as good, but we're talking about a guy who's a clear number 1. He should see 170 targets. Like, he should. There's no Hawkinson to start the year. I just have way less worries with him personally.
Yeah, for me, I'm happy to take someone like an AJ Brown over JJ. I think there'll be more inconsistencies for Justin Jefferson. He will have his boom games, but I think we'll see more bust games or more underwhelming games from Justin Jefferson, where we'll have more of a safe floor with AJ Brown, with Jalen Hurts, and understanding how he has been producing. So I personally right now have AJ Brown over Justin Jefferson, but wouldn't be opposed if you taking Justin Jefferson over AJ Brown, So
here's how I'm playing tight end this year. If I am early in the 4th round, I'm probably going to take my tight end. Let me just make my pick before I continue. Yeah, we'll take Trey McBride here. So here's how I am personally playing the tight end position this year. For the first time in a long time, by the way, guys, I want one of the top 5 or 6 names. I really, really want one of those top names, like Laporta, McBride, Kelsey, Andrews, Kincaid, Pitts. I am willing to spend a pick in the 4th or 5th round to secure one of those names. Now, if I was on the board, let's say, like I am today, and I knew I had a late 5th round pick, I don't think one of those elite tight ends falls to me, so I'm willing to spend up in the 4th round. This is also a tight end premium league that we're playing in here for this mock, so keep that in mind. Tight ends get a little bit of a bonus for per reception. Now, if I'm playing at the end of the board and I have like the 411, for example, I probably would let one of those tight ends fall to me at the 502. That makes a lot of sense because I am more likely to land one of those names, but I'm willing to pay up a little bit to secure one of those names myself. And obviously, you feel the same.
Yeah, I feel the same here, and I think this is like you mentioned, the first time in a very long time where you can really lock in some of these tight ends because of how valuable they are. I mean, we saw Kelsey last year go in the 1st round, Mark Andrews going in the 2nd round, right? And then you saw how far. I mean, there's 2 rounds of difference right now for some of these guys compared to last year, and some of these other tight ends that are emerging, like McBride, Kincaid, and Laporta. So I think there's such good values at the moment, even though we're not huge on them last year, but this year I completely agree.
Yeah, we have not been big fans of taking tight ends early historically on this channel. We've been trying to hit on late round tight ends, but this year I do feel like they're reasonably priced. Like there's no tight end going in the 1st round. There's no tight end typically in the 2nd round outside of Laporta, but you can get some of these guys who have tight end 1 overall upside in rounds 4, 5, and 6. So it's something that we're willing to prioritize.
Completely.
But we saw McBride go, Devonta Smith. Very good pick by Joel. I think Devonta Smith is sneaky. We released a video about a day ago, and I told you guys about some offseason changes you should be aware of. One of those changes is Kellen Moore is the new offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. Kellen Moore last year was the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, and they were a very motion-heavy at the snap type of team. Other teams that were heavy at the snap for motion was the Rams, the Dolphins. So think about those type of wide receivers and put Devonta Smith into that slot role. I think you're going to see a pretty big year from Devonta Smith, potential top 10 bounce back like he had a couple years ago. We saw you take Mark Andrews. I love Andrews. Great pick. Rachaad White, Kamara, Kincaid, Higgins, Pickens, Mixon, Pitts at the 501, Cooper at the 502, Walker at the 503, Flowers at the 504, and McLaurin at the 505. We did just get a super chat from Matthew.
Ooh, so boy, come on, talk me up right now.
Tank Dell at the 507 is actually kind of crazy.
I was like, okay, surely. I thought Daniel Macy was going to take it, but he took Zay Flowers, which is fine. But he also has Stephon Diggs. So
I'm not going to lie, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm loving this start so far.
We got a super chat from Matthew. Matthew, thank you for the donation, man. He says, I had to smash trade this offseason. Let's look at that after I make this pick, okay? So Jalen Hurts comes off the board, and I have quite a few options available to me. But there's one guy that I am very excited will come out on a video here soon. We're going to draft Rashee Rice here. We're going to draft Rashee Rice at the 509.
Richie Rich.
I am willing to stack up on that Chiefs offense. I'll take as much shares as I can in Kansas City this year. But Matthew says, 12-team Superflex tight end premium got Mahomes, Brian Robinson, Kendre Miller, McMillan, St. Murray, Pittman, Lloyd. I'm guessing this is a dynasty question.
Yeah, 12-team Superflex tight end premium. So you got Mahomes, Brian Robinson, Kendre Miller, McMillan, St. Murray, Pittman, Lloyd.
But overall, I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that deal for sure, if I understand it correctly. Thank you for the donation, Matthew. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
So Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk come off the board. 2 Jags, pretty much back-to-back there. And I'm not going to lie, it feels good locking up that tight end, man. I always feel better about my teams when I lock in that tight end. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think with this year, it definitely does feel good. I think it really solidifies, obviously, that 1Z position when you can take one of these top 5 guys. I think you could even now include George Kittle in that if the trade rumors is actually true now. And I'm not a huge Kittle guy, but I think that really boosts his value. You saw him go out to 5-6 here. I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see Kittle, once Aiyuk's trade is official, going potentially back-to-back with Kyle Pitts coming here very soon. And we're seeing the tight ends going off the board with Evan Ingram and then David Njoku at the 6'3". It is a tight end premium, but I feel like that might be the earliest I've seen Njoku in a tight end premium, potentially.
Yeah, that's a little too early for me. I got a video coming out tomorrow. I will talk about David Njoku. It's just, I think it's titled like players I'm going to leave on the draft board for my league mates. and Njoku is one of those names. I'm not anti Njoku. He has never been good with Deshaun Watson. All of his good games, all of his good production has come when Deshaun Watson's not been on the field. So that's a little bit of a concern for me personally. But I start my draft with 4 wide receivers, a running back, and a tight end. I am trying to win the flex, if you will, in this PPR league. You start your draft with 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end. So very similar. You like David Montgomery this year, yeah?
Yeah, I love Monty there. I mean, I know we kind of have our differences with Monty, but I think the production is still going to be there. I think the value is still there at the 6'6", especially around these running backs. I think there's one other running back I think is valued right next to him, but he normally falls. So I wanted to see where he's going to be landing. And we see a nice little run with Aaron Jones.
And just to be clear, I'm not anti-David Montgomery. I just think his ADP should have fallen further based off the trends of the second half of the season for that team. Where we saw Gibbs' role increase. So I love Monty. That was my guy. That was like my most proud my guy last year. But I just felt like his ADP should have maybe dropped more with Gibbs' role expanding. So that's just, I guess it's just a little nitpick from me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that ceiling, that floor is still going to be really safe for David Montgomery on a week-to-week basis.
Sure.
So to get him here at the 6'6", I'm not even sure what running back he is right now. I definitely count it, but I think it's definitely a good value there.
Yeah. Sam says, I'm not taking any Houston wide receiver. I'll pick whoever I pick will be the wrong pick. So Sam is just not confident, which makes sense.
RB19, says, by the way.
With RB19, yeah, I want him more like RB24 range, personally. But it could be like, look, here's the reality. Like, if Jahmyr Gibbs goes down, then Montgomery is probably a league winner. If Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't go down, I think Montgomery is just like a reliable option. Like, not going to win you your week, not going to screw you over. That's kind of how I view him personally.
I hear you.
These quarterbacks, just to note, guys, if you're watching this and you're like, wow, these quarterbacks are going late, don't expect that in your home leagues. In home leagues, I would expect quarterbacks to go much earlier than they've gone here today. This is just our community drafting similar to we do, which is where we typically let quarterbacks fall down the board. So we see Monty, Aaron Jones, Godwin, Jason, Mahomes, A-Rich, Swift, Deontay. I love me Deontay Johnson this year. Love some Lad McConkey too. Great pick. Joe Burrow, Ramondre, Keenan, Watson, Brian Thomas Jr., and your boy's on the clock.
Your boy.
And this is perfect because we're going to grab Zamir White as our RB2. I know a lot of people don't like Zamir White, and that's totally fine. All I will say is wait for my video that comes out on your Sunday before you trash my pick, because I think he's a underrated option right now. You said Monty was 19?
Yes.
So that makes Zamir White 23 into the 7th round. I don't think there's much risk there. Like, I will give people, Madison was a bad pick last year because it was just based off of like pure volume. But Madison, in my opinion, and Zamir White are in different situations. Zamir's in an offense that's going to focus on running the ball. Alexander was in an offense that was very pass happy. Alexander was one of the most inefficient running backs in football when he became the starter. Zamir White is a former 5-star recruit out of Georgia, who had some issues with his ACLs, and he actually showed as a starter he was very good in the NFL. So, just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I am willing to take the shot on Zamir. And the last thing I'll say is, if you remember last year, Badaki, Madison was a 5th-round pick. We're talking about Zamir as a 7th-rounder.
Sure.
So
I remember
different.
Alexander Madison. I was definitely off Alexander Madison. But yeah, the risk is different. Zamir White. I think what is scary about Zamir is that I don't see him getting a lot of opportunities in the air, but the price is there, and I'm okay with taking the risk there. I personally wouldn't be comfortable with him as my RB2 if you had like Pacheco and then somebody else, and then take Zamir White, depending on how your build is. Like, let's say you got Breece Hall and then Pacheco and then Zamir White in the 7th, sure. But as my RB2, I'm still a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, that's fine. I can understand your concern.
Yeah.
All right, man.
What are you thinking?
I'll be honest. At this point of the draft, I am very confused on where to go here.
Okay.
I think we will take a shot on Roma Dunze here in the 8th round.
Okay.
I'm
All right,
not
perfect.
a big Roma Dunze guy this year per se, but the reason I took Roma Dunze there is if Keenan Allen goes down with an injury, and in the past 2 years, we have seen Keenan Allen deal with significant hamstring injuries as an aging veteran, then I think Roma Dunze becomes a value. But I'm only taking him in the 8th round, so I don't mind like that type of like upside versus reward.
I think the reward might be there as well because of how common those injuries, at least how I feel how common those injuries for Keenan Allen could potentially be coming into this year as being an old, was he 33 years old, 32 years old, so
39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Sorry, I was counting. Wide receiver 44.
No.
Okay. And that's not to say that Keenan has been injury prone his career. He hasn't. But in the past 2 years, he has. And he is getting older. He is 32 years old. So,
yeah.
CJ Stroud in the 8th round is kind of nutty, though. That's kind of nutty. Like, we're typically seeing him going in the 5th round based off ADP.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it. I definitely see that as well.
Trey Benson at the 808, Jamison Williams, at the 809, Najee at the 810, Curtis Samuel back with his old OC from Carolina in Buffalo at the 811. So definitely some good picks happening all over the board. And like I said, don't expect these quarterbacks to last this long in your leagues. This is just very unique to our community. They typically draft similar to us. We like a lot of late round quarterbacks this year. So that's what you're seeing kind of play out.
Yeah, there goes Jonathan Brooks at the 812. I think another great, phenomenal value there. What's that? How old was Zamir White?
Say again.
What was Zamir White?
Zamir White was 23.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 29. Are we 29?
Okay, so I am still in on Jonathan Brooks, but I want to see his ADP fall. Do you know what I mean? Based off the reports that came out where like he's going to miss the first 3 or 4 weeks, based off the reports that they really like Chuba, like, yeah, okay, sure. They love Chuba. Yeah, I bet they do. But I want to see his ADP fall. You know what I mean? I want him to be like a 9th, 10th round pick and be in on him. So RB29 is not bad though. He was already like around RB21, so he's falling. I just want to keep seeing that happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes. I completely agree. I don't know if he's going to fall any further though, because I think people will still take the chance in missing those 3 to 4 weeks over.
That's fair.
The likes of Warren, Pollard, Gus. You know, oh, Nick Chubb. Okay, I mean, I'll take Jerome Ford. That's what I was waiting for.
I am sick to my stomach that Hollywood Brown lasted to the 908 and I took Rashee Rice at the 509. I'm genuinely sick to my stomach that's how that panned out for me. But we will find a way to live with ourselves. Yeah, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Tajay Spears here. Tajay Spears, I don't know why the report was surprising to people, but the report came out that he and Tony Pollard were co-starters. I genuinely can't understand why that was surprising. Like, that's how you and I projected this offense the entire offseason.
Yeah, 100%.
So I really can't wrap my head around why that was surprising to people, but apparently it was. And I think he is a discount compared to where Tony goes in most drafts. And I think he has just as much of a chance as being the guy. And by the way, if Hopkins is going to miss time, and we know he's going to miss maybe 1 or 2 games this year with an injury.
1 or 2 weeks, yep.
He is aging. Who knows what happens? If he misses time, Pollard and Tajay could get way more work through the air than we're currently anticipating them to get.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I think both of those guys can eat, which it's gonna be inconsistent on a week-to-week basis, or it's gonna be Pollard and then it's gonna be Spears. So that's what's gonna be the frustrating part about this whole thing. But yes, it is gonna be exciting.
So Devin Singletary off the board at the 912. Hey, if the Giants offense is better than we're currently anticipating, Devin Singletary will be a steal there. In fact, I really like Devin Singletary. His ADP is not rising this offseason. It's falling. That's very attractive to me. We got Hawk Tua in the chat, by the way. I know you mentioned that earlier. There goes Downtown Chase Brown at the 1001.
I love it. I had him on my queue there.
I was also considering him myself, yeah. Okay, I don't want to fall too far off with these quarterbacks, so I will take one of my favorite picks in fantasy drafts this year. That is Jaden Daniels. I'll take him at the 10.04 with his rushing upside. It makes me comfortable to take him as my quarterback one here. Trying to hit late. If you hit late on a quarterback and they have like a top 5 or 6 season, your chance of winning your league drastically improves. And we have seen 3 out of the last 5 years, a rookie quarterback finish top 12 in fantasy football, right? We saw Kyler Murray do it in 2019, Justin Herbert in 2020, and just last year we saw CJ Stroud do it. So I'm trying to hit on a late round quarterback
we wanted them.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's got to be one of them.
He is listed as a starter. Shouldn't be a surprise,
we actually have a couple of rookies that are going to be playing in preseason.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard Drake May was going to get some work.
He should.
And some of those rookie wide receivers. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to pull it up. I was trying to look for it, but there was a bunch of rookies that were going to play in some preseason games here.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, actually.
Does that start tomorrow? Does preseason start tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. Tomorrow. So no, tomorrow we have
the next day.
Is it Friday? No, so tomorrow. What's today?
No, it's sorry. One more day.
It's Wednesday. Sorry. It starts. Yeah, the next day. It starts on Thursday night for you guys. Friday morning for us.
Yes. That will be exciting. And maybe, actually, we'll probably go live and do mock drafts. Would you guys want us to do that during those preseason games? Go live, do some mock drafts?
Yeah, we got the Giants playing too, baby. Come on.
Yeah,
there's only 2 games. There's only 2 games on the Thursday night, which was Panthers, Patriots, and Lions, Giants. I doubt Malik is going to play, and there's nobody on the Lions we want to see. But Drake May is going to play. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, true. Good call. By the way, I just wanted to shout out the Brock Bowers pick in the 10th round. Like, this is kind of similar to what I'm trying to do with Jaden Daniels. If you can hit on a late round quarterback or tight end, and you hit big time, it can absolutely change the trajectory of your team and your outcomes. So I like Brock Bowers as a pick at the 10-10. Super talented guy, maybe the best collegiate tight end we've ever seen, based off pure statistics and film. But
yeah,
clearly in a tough situation, he might outshine it. And if you have to pay a late 10th round pick for him, I'm going to do that every single time.
Okay.
I was lining up Brandin Cooks, I'm not going to lie.
All right. Well, I'm on the clock. I might still push. Let's see. Who should I take here, man?
We're both American born and raised, in case you're confused about our timeline there. We're both American born and raised, but we're both living in Sydney, Australia. Okay, so we both grew up high school, right? Finished high school, and we moved to Australia to study, and then we married Australians over here. So,
got us locked in now.
Maybe you don't know that. Yeah, they kind of suckered us in there. And I'm a huge fan of taking Blake Corum this late. Oh my goodness, guys! If Kyron Williams goes down, oh my gosh, I love Blake Corum as a handcuff this year. I'm obsessed with him as a handcuff. If he's gonna go a late 11th round, I'll be drafting as much Blake Corum as I can possibly get.
Be careful.
Be careful. So we do see Jerry Jeudy off the board as well. Sam says, listen, Zach, I had to snipe you for Cooks. You've had enough receivers. Fair. Joel says, we're not even sure the Raiders can support Adams. Are they going to support a rookie tight end? I totally get it. I totally hear you. But see, that would be what I would be saying, Joel, if I had to take Brock Bowers in round 7. I don't have to take Brock Bowers in round 7. It's the 10th or 11th round. You know, you're taking Brock Bowers or Josh Palmer. Brock Bowers or, you know, Jalen Wright. It's not a very difficult pick to make, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think where does he normally go? I feel like he doesn't normally go in the 10th round. He's normally a little bit higher than that. So this might be a little bit unrealistic. I feel like he does go around 8 or so.
Well, we could check his ADP if we want. Let's see. So let me look at his ADP in a second. I have to make a pick here. Troy Franklin goes, Ricky Pearsall, Ray Davis, and someone obviously took Josh Downs. Yeah, I was going to take Downs here, trying to continue that trend. But
continue the trend. There's still wide receiver 1 out there, brother. Come on.
You're right, and his name is Jahan Dotson. Jokes. We're going to take Jahan Dotson here in the 12th round. Hey, I'm doubling on the bet. If Daniels is good, Dotson could be, have a revival for his career there. But yeah, let's look at ADP. So right now on Sleeper, we can actually see his ADP. So Brock Bowers' ADP right now is 77.6. So 77.6 would be earlier than the 10th round. That would be... That seems unrealistic to me. I've never seen him go in like the 7th round. No, because that's what they say his ADP is. That doesn't seem.
That's why I said like it's normally 8th. I feel like late 8th we normally see him.
I wonder what his ESPN ADP is. Let's have a look. We'll keep this going as McLaughlin comes off the board. Dalton Schultz comes off the board. Again, if there's ESPN people out there, I can do a mock draft for you guys. It's difficult to see those mock drafts on ESPN. So he's 115th pick on ESPN. Brock Bowers is.
Quick math.
So 115th on ESPN. Let me do some quick maths in my head here. 115th would be so the 9, 12. Let's say. Okay, so we need to count 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he's at the 1007 on ESPN ADP. In a 12-man league, the 1007.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Brisbane got the baddies, the Brown says. That's funny.
Shout out to Brizzy, man.
Frank, what's up, man?
He knows something like that.
Frankie says, I'm doing my first paid fantasy draft on ESPN. Do y'all have videos on how to make picks the right way? Frankie.
Hey.
Let me tell you what, brother. This Saturday, we have a video coming out that's specifically for all you ESPN people, okay? So subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. This Saturday, I made a video and I gave you every position. I had 20 total players for you to target in ESPN drafts because they are huge values because ESPN's ADP is not up to date compared to these other platforms.
There you go, man. You asked the right question. You got the answer.
That's right.
So shout out. Wait till this weekend. Like you said, make sure you turn on the notifications. Every video that releases, you'll definitely get a notification. And you can check that out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We are Fox Sports. We're just going to go another running back here. We'll grab Ty Chandler. We'll grab Ty. If Aaron goes down, we'll have Ty there. That's what I like about this strategy here. I feel so confident in my wide receivers, and I feel confident in Pacheco. All I really need is for one of those guys to be my RB2, right? I need one injury from Kyron Williams. I need one injury from Tony Pollard or Aaron Jones, or I just need Zamir White to be a decent player, and we're good to go in the start 9. So you go Tua in the 13th round. Got that stack with Waddle.
Yeah, no one else had a quarterback. I probably could have continued to play it, but I might as well take him. I felt confident with who I had, and I was expecting maybe one or two guys to go double quarterback, and there goes one in Hawk Tua, taking Dak Prescott and Caleb Williams. So I didn't want to stretch it out too long. Wanted that natural stack.
Yeah, that's what she
Feel pretty
said,
confident
for sure.
in Tua.
We are going to pop up another mock draft, by the way, because we did reach our like goal. So
yeah,
big shout out to you guys watching. I mean, we will pop off a second mock. I'll get that going here. I just got to make my next pick.
Yeah, as you do that, guys, join the Discord. That link is in the description. That link is also in the chat as of right now. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, and then go to announcements. That's exactly where we'll post each and every mock draft. It is first come, first serve. So shout out to everyone that is watching.
Yeah.
Right now. So keep that in mind if you are here for the first time or not. Join that Discord, and
I'm gonna send you.
We can get you in. Take my guy Wandale.
So we are gonna pop off a second mock for you guys. Maybe I'll get into an ESPN mock as well. just for all our ESPN folk out there.
All right. I'll send this link out to this new mock draft now. Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Might as well. Here we go. All right. Once again, Fantasyland tab announcements. 3, 2, 1. That link is now out for you guys to join the new mock draft.
Sorry, I meant Saturday our time, Vikes. The ESPN video will be out on Friday your time, Friday afternoon. I meant Saturday my time. Okay, so again, we're going to do similar format. 1 quarterback, PPR, tight end premium, start 9. Okay, so start 9 meaning 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 3 flex spots. Obviously, your format should determine the way that you draft. It's very, very important. I would argue it's the most important thing to consider when you're drafting. And let's go ahead and start this thing off here with 369 at the 101.
369.
But yeah, just to conclude, CMC goes off the board. I will take CD Lamb here at the 102. To conclude that previous mock, I ended up with Daniels. At running back, we had Pacheco, Zamir as our starters. We're starting at wide receiver, Brown, Nakua, Rice, Reed, and between Dotson or Adunze. At tight end, we have McBride, and we've got a bunch of running backs that could hit if injuries occur in Spears, Corum, Vidal, Ty Chandler. Badaki ends up with Tua as his quarterback. His running backs are Bijan and Montgomery, as well as Ford. His wide receivers are London, Waddle, Dell, Watson, Hopkins, Shakir, Polk, and he got an elite tight end in Mark Andrews. I am going to be right back. I'm just going to use the bathroom.
No worries as this one is continuing. So we got Breece Hall at the 104 from Brizzleton. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chase Brown, Justin Jefferson. I think this is the highest I've seen Breece Hall go in the past, or in a mock draft, excuse me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I personally wouldn't be doing that. I'll definitely be taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over Breece Hall. And now I am on the clock here. For me, it's probably going to have to be... Yeah, it's going to have to be Jahmyr Gibbs here. At the 110, seeing how we go. So, look, I'm not saying it's wrong. I've personally never seen... I haven't seen Breece Hall go this high in a mock draft. But hey, Brizzleton trying to switch it up. Brizzleton said I took a Amon-Ra last time at the 105, so doing something different, which is fair. I think that is that's a fair assessment there, because you don't want to be doing the exact same thing every single time, especially as we get closer and closer to how many days until kickoff. Where's Daniel Macy at? He was in here earlier. I don't think we got how many days until kickoff today.
Well, it would be 29, I think, today.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's around 29. Because I think yesterday was 30.
Right, okay. All right, let's see where we're going to go here. Saquon off the board.
So you started with Jahmyr Gibbs. Saquon went at the 202. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, I was wanting Saquon Barkley. Let's do double running back here. Let's go with Jonathan Taylor.
All right,
Gibbs
so
and
a
JT.
Gibbs-Taylor start. Which, it makes sense. You're in a tough spot there. I can see why forcing a wide receiver at that pick would feel like the wrong move. And then you can make the same case at the 203. Like, if you're going to take a wide receiver, is it Adams, London? A lot of it's kind of tough to force a guy there. Yeah,
it definitely was. So going to 2 running backs, hopefully somebody decent falls to me at the 310. Because I did take London in this last draft.
Ibrahim is angry that we're doing a PPR mock.
That's okay.
And this is the vibes I'm getting right now. These are the vibes we're getting right now. Angry man yells at a cloud. It's okay. Dude, play fantasy football however you want to. I don't mind.
That's okay. Still love you,
Why are we
man.
getting angry about it?
Still love you.
Thanks for joining, though. Appreciate you, man. So we see in the second round, Devontae Adams, Travis Etienne, Drake London, Derrick Henry, Brandin Aiyuk, all off the board. Man, underdog drafts are going to be interesting. Like, where Aiyuk actually lands is going to be so crucial.
Yeah, no question.
To those people who have already, invested so much stock in a certain player.
Yeah.
Okay. Really don't want to force a running back here, to be honest with you. Jeez, I don't want to force a running back. I don't want to do the same at wide receiver either. We'll grab Debo here. And I want to see what the rest of
someone else make the decision for you.
Yeah, exactly. I got a couple names in mind there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see how we pan out.
All right, so in the second round, we see Mike Evans as the last pick at the 212. And 369 here, what he does will potentially shape the direction that I go. So he goes Devon Achane.
There you go. You're kind of forced to.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going wide receiver here then. And I don't really want to draft these wide receivers from Houston, but I will take Nico Collins here. Like, just overall, I don't really want to invest in the Houston wide receiver room. It scares me a little bit, but I felt like he was a value there. So I start my draft with 3 wide receivers. Don't know how I feel about it, but that it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is now.
Again, in a start terrible. 9. And, again, if you guys are watching this and you're in your home league and your home league is half PPR and you guys only start 7 players, I would never start this way in that format. Does that make sense? Like, hopefully that makes sense to people. If your home league, you can only start 7 players in total, only 1 flex spot, we're never starting a draft with 3 wide receivers, okay? So format is everything. In today's format, it's PPR. And it's start 9, so you have 3 flex spots altogether.
All right, let's see what player comes to me. There goes Travis Kelce, the first tight end off the board. So we have Pacheco, Waddle, Kupp, Rashad White, and then Kelce. Feels like a safe pick nowadays with Travis Kelce coming back here. I mean, I don't know how you feel about him, but he should have a good bounce back here.
I can't say like I'm afraid to draft him, but he's typically like one of the first names in that group that I really like. If you think Kelce, Laporta, Andrews, Kincaid, Pitts, maybe Kittle soon. And I just feel like we've already seen 1 year where he's slightly regressed as an aging player. So I would like him to be like the 5th name off the board at the tight end position instead of like one of the 1st or 2nd. So while I have him ranked as my tight end 1, I'm not like actively drafting him or Laporta because they're going too high. And I just feel like I'm going to get something similar with some of those other names that we mentioned.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense there.
DJ Moore at the 308. Cook at the 309. You go Malik Neighbors at the 310.
Yeah.
I diddly ho, Neighbors.
I diddly ho. I was contemplating Stephon Diggs. I've never drafted Stephon Diggs before. I'm not a huge believer in... Well, I am a huge believer in the Texans wide receivers. I think the one I have the most disbelief in is Stephon Diggs.
Sure.
So I wasn't really confident in taking him there.
All right, Josh Jacobs. Man,
off the board.
That's incredible value for Zach there at the edge. To get Josh Jacobs as your 4th round pick, I am kind of obsessed with that. I mean, at the moment, Marshawn Lloyd is behind schedule because he's been dealing with some injuries. And if you're really worried about A.J. Dillon, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Like, Josh Jacobs,
quarterback here.
Josh Jacobs might be one of the better picks in fantasy football drafts right now.
Let's go Josh Allen. I haven't taken a quarterback in a while, so let's see how this build goes.
Josh Allen, first quarterback off the board at the 403.
I'll do it.
So obviously he's your quarterback one this year. You're not concerned about him losing Diggs?
No.
Okay.
I'm not concerned with him losing Diggs. I feel pretty confident in this offense with Joe Brady, how that was spreading out. Dalton Kincaid is going to be taking a step up this year. He may not be getting those rushing upside, but maybe him spreading out the ball more is going to, even out that production, what we saw with him on the ground. I think that's not going to change either. It's not going to be 15 touchdowns, but maybe it's 8 rushing touchdowns. Maybe it's 9 rushing touchdowns. But more passing touchdowns coming for Josh Allen, hopefully this year. Because last year, he only threw 15 touchdowns. Excuse me. Not 15, 29 touchdowns, where he's normally averaging like the 35,
right?
34 range. So I think that evens out this year.
Okay, that makes sense. Wanted to see where your head was with him. My quarterback one is still available. Actually,
yeah, I know who your quarterback one is, and that he concerns me.
Is he? Okay.
He just concerns me with the addition of the person behind him now, right? I think that surely he's taking away touchdowns.
Sure.
I think that's how I'm feeling.
Sure. I think you
could take a run of tight ends
similar to what you said about Josh Allen. I think applies to my quarterback one though.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. He just went there at the 5-1.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is my quarterback one in fantasy this year. I'll take Joe Mixon as my RB1 at the 502. This looks like a draft you do, Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. But
yeah, Nico Collins, exactly.
But yeah, Jalen Hurts is my quarterback one this year. Kind of similar sentiment to what you were saying about Josh Allen. I think you can make an argument that this offense might be even better. And, there might be not 15 rushing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, but maybe it comes down to 7, 8. Sure. I'm still okay with that, with the additions that they've made. By the way, I would have drafted Pickens there. Pickens would have been an auto pick at the 502 for me. I have no idea how to value him until I know where Aiyuk is playing football this year. If Aiyuk is playing football in Pittsburgh, I cannot be drafting George Pickens that high anymore. So the only reason I didn't take Pickens is because I need clarity before I commit to it moving forward.
Sure. I mean, let's go the other way. Where's Aiyuk going if he goes to Pittsburgh specifically? He's not going in the second round anymore.
I don't know that I would draft him in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing, because going to question marks at quarterback, he is going to be the number 1. Excuse me, but you just don't know how that's going to pan out, especially with the chemistry with those two.
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. Where are these people going to end up? How is that going to impact fantasy football? I can't remember trades happening this late into the NFL season. That's been so exciting. That's so drastically changed the landscape of the NFL. But we have a chance of that happening. And I think if he goes to Cleveland, I don't think it impacts his draft capital if Amari Cooper is involved in the deal. But like I said, there's just so many narratives you can spin where it's like, if this happens, then this. If this happens, then this. Robin says, why McBride over Andrews? I got these guys in the same exact tier. So if you want McBride over Andrews or Andrews over McBride, I'm totally fine with that. One thing I would say is, so last year, Sam Laporta was a tight end 1 overall. He averaged 14.1 PPR points per game last season. Now, Kyler Murray joined this team late. If you look at when McBride had Kyler Murray as his quarterback, McBride was averaging about 15 points per game. And he was getting about 8.3 targets per game. Now, you can make the case, well, now they've got Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes, exactly. The offense could be better. So while there wasn't touchdowns, which is what Laporta had a ton of, there could be touchdowns this year if the offense actually takes another step. So, again, I don't mind which way you go, but you went Rice there at the 5'10". I like that pick.
Yeah, I need to start building on some of these wide receivers here. Not taking a wide receiver at the 4-3. Obviously might hurt my team, but that's okay. Let's see what type of values I can get here in the next round at the 6-3 at this turn. Kyle Pitts. I was contemplating Kyle Pitts, but going 2 1Z positions there back to back definitely would have hindered my wide receiver room coming back at the 7-10. Mm-hmm. Not sure who would have came back to me at all there.
Brandon says, do Cooper and Aiyuk switch ADPs if the Browns make that move to send Amari to San Francisco? I don't know how you guys would read that. So let's play out this hypothetical world, okay? Amari Cooper got sent to the 49ers. Aiyuk got sent to Cleveland. Who knows what the other details are? To me, I would take Aiyuk pretty much where he's going now, which is like late second, early third. Because I think with no Amari Cooper, he's probably getting 150, 160 targets. Now, Amari Cooper, I would say, would drastically fall down my rankings. Like, I would not have him anywhere near the 5th round if he's competing with Kittle, Debo, sorry, not Aiyuk, but like CMC as well, sorry. So, to me, I would probably move Amari Cooper down to like 6th or 7th round value at minimum.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make a pick here. I'm probably gonna go Christian. I would 6th or 7th round. Look, I think he does fall. I would say yes, maybe early 6th round. I don't think he drastically falls to 7th. I think there could be an argument with those opportunities for Amari Cooper going to the 49ers that he may have a safe floor. It may take some time, but the quarterback play is still there. Kyle Shanahan is going to definitely get him into that rotation. And yeah,
a couple reasons. A couple things I would say. Like, number one, there's no chemistry. There's no chemistry at all between these players, and the season is so soon. So we don't know if Brock Purdy and Amari Cooper will be on the same page. But number two, like Aiyuk, you're not. Sorry, I love Amari Cooper, but you're not replacing what Aiyuk gave you last year. Like, you are downgrading. As much as I love Amari Cooper, you are slightly downgrading. And
no question.
You could make an argument Aiyuk was the best per target receiver in the NFL last year. So he only had 103 targets. You know? Is Amari Cooper with 103 targets, who probably won't be as efficient as what we saw for Aiyuk, enticing to anyone? It's not enticing to me.
I think when I look at the board, if Amari Cooper is going to fall, I will still feel confident taking him over the likes of Zay Flowers, or the likes of Terry McLaurin, over the likes of even Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown. I think there's arguments to Rice, Reed, T, these guys that are going around him. But I'm just looking at the board right now and seeing who's there. It's like, I don't know. I think Amari Cooper, even without the chemistry, going to the 49ers, I still feel confident taking him over those names that I've named. Or those guys that I've named.
Yeah, I would pretty comfortable take all those names over him in that situation. I see
what you're saying, for sure.
I would take T. I would take Flowers, Terry, Rice. I don't even know if I would take him over Godwin.
Oh, I'm not taking him over Godwin. I'm taking him over Keenan, taking him over Hollywood. I think there's arguments with the guys that you definitely said, for sure. But I think he definitely then falls within that tier. I think the tier just expands with Amari Cooper swapping places.
That makes sense. All right, we're gonna grab our wide receiver here, and that wide receiver is going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Okay.
We'll take him in the 7th round as our wide receiver 4. A couple options there.
Yeah, not bad.
What's up, Mark? He says, do you guys like stacks or no? I think, like, unless you're in a best ball league, Mark, stacks aren't something we would ever force. If it happens naturally, and you're like, let's say, for example, you drafted Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, and, Joe Burrow just fell to you, and you could choose Joe Burrow or Anthony Richardson, In that scenario, like, I can see why you'd want to make the stack. If they hit on both weeks, it gives you a better chance to win. But overall, we generally do not really force stacks at all when we drafted. I just feel like sometimes you miss out on values because you're so focused on, like, man, I really, really, really want this stack. It's like, okay, but I just want the most fantasy points, Yeah.
Nah, I completely agree. Don't force it. Let it come naturally to you. If it happens, that's amazing. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
But, like, don't reach for a quarterback just to get the stack, essentially what Zach was basically talking about there.
I agree. Central says I'd swap Aiyuk's ADP with Debo and Debo with Cooper, if that makes sense. Okay.
Aiyuk with Debo and then Debo with Cooper. Sure.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
I wonder how high Kittle will go then. Are you taking Kittle over Kyle Pitts comfortably? If once Aiyuk's gone?
Yeah. No, sorry, you said over Kyle Pitts?
Yes. Would you take him over him?
No, I don't think I would, but he would be. It would extend that tier though. You know,
Sure.
like right now that tier for me is Kelsey, Laporta, Pitts, Kincaid, McBride, Andrews, 6. So it would extend it to a 7th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, sir, Brandon. I do love JSN this year. I'm a big fan of him. Scribble says, "Are you a fan of Detroit style pizza?"
I've only had it once, and it wasn't in Detroit.
Pizza.
I had it in Melb's, and they had like a Detroit.
Okay.
They had like a Detroit restaurant. Damn, I wanted Watson there.
Yeah, I can't really say I've ever had Detroit style pizza, or certainly I've never been to Detroit, so I'll start there.
Yeah,
I am watching Detroiters right now, which is with the guy who's from I Think You Should Leave. It's an underground show. It's pretty funny, but
never been.
All right, D-Hop at the 7-10. I gotta be honest, man. Like you and I, we were on the same page before this D-Hop entry in the sense of like, hey, take Ridley, take D-Hop, whoever you want. You know, you should feel good about it. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I think I'm out on D-Hop right now. Just his age.
I think
to deal with that injury before the year, knowing it probably means he'll miss a game or two. For me, it's enough for me to just not be in.
No, and I think there is definitely concerns. If I'm telling you right now, my draft is tomorrow. Am I taking DeAndre Hopkins comfortably at the 7-10? Probably not.
Okay.
But if I'm doing it the week before and we have a little bit more of an understanding where DeAndre Hopkins is at and he's practicing and it looks like he's most likely still going to miss week 1, but he's not 100% there, I would be taking the chance in DeAndre Hopkins. It just depends on the context of what that report is going to look like and maybe when your draft is. But I can understand the concern.
Yeah. All right, people are asking for another mock, so let's set another light goal here. All right, big audacious light goal. We got some things we got to do. So if you want a third mock draft, we're gonna have to hit a pretty high light goal, which is 150. All right, so the ball's in your court now. All right, people. If you want a third mock draft, smash the like button. Let's get to 150 likes, and then we will oblige and happily oblige to do another mock draft.
We would happily oblige.
So, Zamir White, Zach Moss, Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas, and now you're up on the clock here. You go Addison. I love Addison. I think he's a really, really good pick this year. I am curious to see what happens with this whole DUI situation. I don't know how much you've.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's most. Yeah, it looks like he's most likely or definitely going to miss at least 3 games, but no one is saying when that's going to happen.
That's what's weird to me because his court case is, I think, in October.
Yeah, it's in October.
Typically, that means it's going to be dealt with the next season, not this season. But I don't know.
Yeah, because you're not going to go to court and then be like, okay, yeah, Brandin Aiyuk suspended for 3, or not Brandin Aiyuk, Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games. I think there has to be more advanced in notice. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So we see Kyler Murray, Jordan Love off the board, then Tony Pollard. Damn it. I'm in on Javonte Williams this year again, and I'm ready to be hurt, and I wanted to make that pick. I wanted to be hurt.
Don't get hurt,
didn't give me that opportunity, J-Mac.
Don't do it. I'm glad he took it away from him, J-Mac.
Have
you ever seen Zach
that
Ertz
burden
before?
away from me.
You don't want to see it.
You took that burden away from me, brother.
Watch the CMC video.
Oh, God.
He was pissed.
That was not fun. All right. Roma Dunze, Trey Benson off the board. Man, y'all gonna make me mess around and draft Keon Coleman here. Okay, there he goes.
There you go.
I was about to say, like, I'm not a Keon guy, but I am at a certain price. I'm certainly in on it at a certain price.
I definitely thought about it to have Josh Allen, but I'm going to wait.
I don't really like the wide receivers here, to be honest. So I am, at this point, maybe going against my own word. I'm going to take Jonathan Brooks there as my RB3. There's a plan. So what does that make him off the board? Can you count for me, Badaki? What does that make him? The RB
Jonathan Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said I wanted to get him into round 9, so that is close. But maybe I'm taking him too early again. I mean, who knows? It's hard to say.
RB30.
RB30. Okay. RB30 feels comfortable to me to take that risk. All right. I was going to wait on quarterback. This is a little early for Daniels, but I don't want Zach to take him away from me at the 11 spot. He might not be even thinking about him, but I'll lock up Jaden Daniels there at the 902 as my QB.
Yeah. Want a Fergie there.
What's up, Preston? He says, hey, Zach, who's your favorite quarterback this year? Well, got a video coming out on your Sunday. all I can say, guys, if you want to know my favorite players in fantasy this year, watch the video that comes out on Sunday, because it is essentially the My Guys video for myself. It's going to be called, like, players I'm in love with this year. And I talk about 15 players. And there are some quarterbacks in that video. So definitely watch that video coming out. Vike says, by the way, your video about ESPN leagues, they finally added a draft board. Did they?
Did they actually?
All right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look-see. So you're telling me they added a draft board. We'll go 12-man.
I mean, how many years did it take him to add a draft board?
I know, right? It's like, finally.
Like, come on, my man.
Okay, that one's full. Snake.
Sorry, Lockett. All right, going Joku there.
12-team PPR. Here we go. 12-team PPR. Okay, we'll join this. Oh, really? Why do I have to log in with Disney? What the hell?
Yeah, that's sus.
Why do I have to log into Disney to do a mock draft on ESPN? You're absolutely joking me right now. All right, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. Did it ask you the same thing?
I honestly haven't even tried.
I'm not going to make a
ESPN.
My Disney account to do this.
I'm not even going to do it, man. Since Disney's owns ESPN.
Yeah, no, I get that, but like, I gotta make a My Disney account just to do a mock draft? No. I'm okay.
Can you believe it? Disney have a jacuzzi.
So Bowers goes in the 9th, and Njoku in the 9th feels a lot better.
Yeah, you know, I like Njoku still this year. I know we have difference. Another video that's coming out this week about David Njoku as well. So that's going to be interesting. But yes, in the 9th, I'm okay with taking it. I really wanted Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I like Ferguson a lot this year. I'm a big fan of how affordable he is. I'm a big fan of just the fact that there's no one to throw the ball to outside of CeeDee Lamb.
Damn, yeah, exactly. So I feel like he is definitely somebody I'm going to be trying to target in almost all of our leagues here.
Yeah.
$150.
Right, so, yeah, 150 is the like goal if you guys want a third mock draft. Like
we're actually at 119 right now. Oh my goodness.
Geez. I set that as like a goal because I thought it would be unrealistic. We got to go get some lunch and do some work. But yeah, 150 is the like goal for another mock draft. If y'all hit it, we'll do it. What's up, Dom? Welcome in, brother. Welcome in, my brother.
What's happening, man? Waiting all day for Sunday. Shout out to Scott Hansen, huh? Can't wait to listen to that voice. 7 hours. I'm actually just pumped for all of it. I'm pumped for like everyone to get annoyed at Chris Collinsworth again. And then, you know, we're gonna hear Tom Brady for the first time and Tony Romo again. Yeah. It's like the whole crew is coming back, boys.
Exactly. We're gonna grab Chuba Hubbard here. I told you I had a plan, and that is my plan if I'm taking Jonathan Brooks this year. I'm also locking up Chuba Hubbard. don't care when Jonathan Brooks comes back now. I don't have to worry about that. In fact, I
Don't
can
have to
put
worry
Jonathan Brooks probably on my IR spot, free up a spot to hit the waiver wire, and know I can start Chuba Hubbard to start the season.
Not bad. Okay. The real pick is Miles Sanders. That's what you should take. I'm joking.
Yeah, right.
I'm joking.
No, someone literally said that in a video. When I talked about Jonathan Brooks, there were some people who were really upset, and they were like, Miles Sanders is going to play ahead of him when he's healthy. Miles Sanders is going to revive his career. Like, yeah, okay. I didn't know we'd have to fight about Miles Sanders today, but here we are. A new day, a new ridiculous topic to fight about. Cool. We will go ahead and we'll take a little Xavier Legette here, I think.
Okay, X gonna give it to you, baby.
We'll take Xavier Legette, a little shot there at the unknown first round wide receiver. Joel, by the way, says I'm on year 3 with no playoffs. That is unfortunate. Joel says, "Chat,
good luck this year, brother."
Hey man,
we
just
got
subscribe.
you this year, man.
We
Come
got
on.
you. Yeah.
We
Stay tuned to the content. Watch the strategy videos. Watch the players to target videos, and get in a mock with us.
And we're gonna be doing content every single day throughout the season. Okay, players are gonna dominate each week. Waiver wire pickups. So much content that's going to be releasing throughout the season. So make sure you stay tuned to that as well. It's going to be better than ever, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Love the Palmer pick. Was definitely considering him as well at the 11-2. Maybe I should have taken Palmer. Brizzleton, me too, man. I like Chris Collinsworth. I know people hate him. People hate Tony Romo.
No,
they hate
I like
Chris
him
Collinsworth.
too.
I like them, man. I don't know. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to do their job.
No, a lot of people really hate Tony, and I didn't realize that. I guess we don't hear that when we're overseas, but like when you talk to like people every day in football, like in America, they're like, "Oh, I hate Tony Romo.
Yes.
I don't want to listen to him."
Yeah, well, it's very popular to hate Tony Romo. I just think
for real?
I just think he's good.
Yeah, I thought he was good too. I think he's great.
Connor says he's on ESPN and he confirms there is a draft board.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm not about to create a My Disney account, am I?
There's no point. Don't waste your time. Someone said, you know what you should do? Someone send a screenshot in the Discord. Put it under general. Just send a screenshot. We would love to see it, but that's just be too hard.
Literally a week ago, they let you sign in with Google. Now you have to sign in with My Disney. What in the world? Why do I need to make a My Disney account to play fantasy football? That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Scribble says, I loathe Chris Collinsworth. You're allowed to not talk for 1 second on air. That's funny. You guys are too funny.
It's just a laugh that gets me. And then like when he sees like, a toe drag or a spectacular catch, he's just like, he is all on that person.
Yeah. Trent says you've always needed a Disney account to play ESPN. I've been getting into ESPN mocks with my Google account. This is the first time they've asked me for some Disney account. Am I the only one then? Is that not a new change?
All right, let's try and log in here.
I must be the only one.
Let's go. Fantasy.
Brandon says, Zach, who would you cheer for in the Super Bowl if it was Chiefs Commanders? I've had this question before. My first love was the Commanders. I grew up on the East Coast. I was born into being a Washington fan. So I would say my first love is the Commanders. If I had to choose between them, it would be the Washington Commanders. But obviously that would be fun because I feel like as a fan, I couldn't lose. Aussies are third in gold medals. Yeah, they're killing it, man. The Aussies are like really good in the pool.
Yeah, they're good in the pool, but they've won some cool stuff. They won like BMX, if I'm not mistaken, like the BMX racing.
Right.
They won like skateboarding as well. They won some. It feels like a bunch of random stuff, but also cool.
We're going to grab TJ Hawkinson here. And again, we're going to put Hawkinson and Brooks on our IR. And we're going to play the waiver wire, try and beat some breakouts.
No ESPN.
Trent says, no, ESPN is owned by Disney. It's always been a thing. I think you're capping. Bro, I promise you, Trent, literally this time last week, or 2 days ago, I did an ESPN mock for you guys. I used my Google account to log in. I'm not lying to you. I have no reason to. I don't know what the change is. We're going to grab Gabe Davis here in the 13th round. I promise you. I'm not lying.
He's lying, man.
That's a heck of a play by Mahomes. Ha ha ha.
Oh, it's one of those. Oh.
Yeah, that's perfect, actually.
Can you believe this guy? How does he do it? It's like, okay, Chris.
What's up, Akash? Akash says drafts in 20 minutes. I have an early first-round pick. Should I pick CD? Yeah, we're fine to pick CD Lamb.
Yeah, we are.
Up to you, though. You do your thing, baby. Okay, Filmbo Rooster.
Good luck, brother.
Been a thing. Brandon, the main sport over here, they would call it footy. And it's rugby, basically. It's rugby.
Yeah. There's two sports. There's AFL and NRL.
And they're both like a form of rugby, I guess. But I've never been able to really get into it personally.
Yeah, same.
I'd say the biggest sporting event is probably State of Origin, is what they call it, which is when Queenslanders and New South Wales people, are like, no,
like it's the states, yeah.
My state's better. My state's better. And then there's other states in Australia that are just like, we're not involved.
Well, we don't have a team yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, New South Wales won for the first time like years. Like over 15 years or something like that.
I don't think I've watched the last 5 or 6 years.
You know what's funny is like
State of Origin.
I was trying to talk it up and hype it up to like Ellen's family. I was like, they're gonna win this year. And the one time they won, we were in New York, so like I didn't even watch it.
Oh, so you do watch it?
I just watch it like I don't like cancel everything in my schedule and watch it. Like if I remember it's on, sure, I'll put it on because it's some sort of sport.
That's okay.
But yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, the NBA is pretty popular. I mean, the NBA, the NFL is trying to copy the NBA in the sense of like expanding the game internationally. You've seen that a lot in the last 5 years, and even more recently with the games in Germany and Mexico. Obviously, the games in England have always been there.
Yeah.
I want them to do one in Australia, but it would be hell for the players. They'd travel like 20 hours on a plane.
I think if it's going to be for the players, it has to be like week 1. It can't be kind of like what it's doing in Brazil. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Brazil for the Eagles and the Packers is week 1.
Yeah, like, I think so.
It has to be. It can't just be in the middle of the season. Like, it has to be week 1 or the last game of the season where nobody's really wanting to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly
right.
All right, let's take Malachi here.
Okay, Malachi.
See, and that gives the players, time to come back, reset, get ready for week 2. And if they set the schedule right, maybe those teams have like a Sunday night game and then a Monday night game. Right? I wonder if the Eagles actually play like Sunday or Monday night the week after, like in week 2, because that would just be good for those players.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I don't think we're gonna reach our like goal, but that's okay. We do appreciate you guys. This has been one of the better streams so far of the off season. You guys have been awesome. We appreciate you big time. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for everyone who's subscribing and hitting the like button, joining the crew, joining the family.
Man, it's awesome.
A couple announcements to make. Firstly, be on the lookout on the Discord for something new that we're going to announce here soon. Badaki is taking on a project. We're very excited about it, and more details to come soon. But anyway, we'll leave that up to whenever we announce it. The other thing is, we have a video coming out tomorrow, and that video is players I'm not drafting. Essentially, it's players that I'm leaving on the draft board be on the lookout for that video. I'm very excited about it. We also have a video coming out on your Friday, which is ESPN. All right. If you're an ESPN person, you're drafting in ESPN leagues, the video that comes out on Friday is a must watch for you. All right. Basically focuses on the best values at every position on ESPN. So look out for that when that comes out on Friday. On Sunday, my guys will be released. So 15 players, and I'm going to try and draft everywhere. Guys that I'm putting my reputation on the line for, stamping, my name on, if you will. We'll take Bateman here as our last pick. But what we can do, and yeah, we are almost at 16,000 subscribers, which is honestly awesome. You guys are amazing. Great. We're about, I think, 93 subs away from 16K, which is awesome. I mean, the thought of hitting 20K is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely wild.
That's kind of wild to think about, to be honest. But we appreciate you guys big time. Like, hit the like button, subscribe, help us continue to get there. Now, what we're going to transition into for the rest of today's stream is we are going to review someone's team. Okay. Now, if you want your team reviewed, it's very simple. All right. Let's say you've already drafted your league in fantasy football, ESPN Sleeper, or whatever you're using. You can get your team reviewed just like all these other people. The best way to do that is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I just put a direct link in the chat for you guys if you'd like to sign up. Here's the deal. If you sign up, you get all the draft guides on the website. You get our rankings, which are updated weekly and in season updated weekly as well. You get access to the trade calculator, the My Teams feature, the trade finder, all of the premium tools on the website you get access to. You also get a team review from us on the Flock Fantasy site. So if you want to support the channel, help us to continue to grow, help us keep the lights on. We just recently hired an editor because of the support from you guys. If you want all of that, then become a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I put a link in the chat. It's also in the description and the pinned comment later on. Now, what you're about to see is someone who has supported us. They're about to get their team reviewed. Okay, so that's what we're about to head into here. So a big shout out to everybody who has shown support. And the name of this team is Dynasty Daddy. All right, so Dynasty Daddy, you can review your Dynasty team. You can review your redraft team. It really doesn't matter what team you want to review. We can help you out over here, okay? If you want our thoughts, if you want our opinions on what we might do with your team or what the best steps are to move forward, then we got you. Again, check out the pinned, or not the pinned comment. Check out the link I put in the chat. And if you're watching this later on, check out the pinned comment. All right, so this team is named Lizan Al-Khalib.
Liz Al-Khalib from... Shout out to Dune. I watched Dune for the first time, Dune 1 and 2 on the way. Yeah, for the first time, coming back to Sydney on the airplane.
I love that for you.
Great movie. Shout out to Paul Atreides. Shout out to him, Timothy Chalamet.
Big
all right, let's have a look at this team here.
I just wanted to quickly say as well, by the way, I wanted to show you guys the features on the website that you know what you're signing up to. So you get access to all of the databases. You know, my strategy guide is up there. We've got a draft guide from Mason over on Flock Fantasy, the domain guys. You get all of our articles, databases. You also get our rankings, which consistently update, like we said, every single week. You get the trade calculator. The trade calculator, I'm not even just saying this like to hype up our website. I just feel confident in saying it. It is the best calculator in the industry. I don't care if you're playing Dynasty or Redraft. This is available for both leagues, but it takes into account your exact league. So if you aren't playing with any PPR, okay, let's go ahead and update that. If you're not playing Superflex, or you have a premium, or you're only playing in 8 leagues, or you're only starting, let's say, 7 players, all of that is taken into account when you use our calculator. And we're also going to look at the My Teams feature. Now, the last thing I want to say before we dive into this review is, if you haven't signed up yet, go sign up with the comment that I've left there in the chat, because you get a 7-day free trial. Okay, make sure you use the promo code LAND. You get a 7-day free trial. You get to check out the entire website. The other thing I want to let you guys know is about our store. You can see here when you go to the website at the top right, this little money icon. This is where we have a store. Okay, there's a couple things that you can do. Let's say in season, or even right now if you'd like, you can ask a start sit question. a trade question. Let's say you've already drafted in your league and you want to know if this is a good or a bad trade. Well, you can enter in all these details. Click continue at the bottom right. Let's say, for example, I have a trade I want to potentially pursue. It's CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. All right. I hit continue. You see us there, Zach and Badaki. These are the guys here. Whatever information you want us to know, then click continue. If we're not on a live stream, then we'll be able to answer it. If we are in a live stream, just leave a comment and we'll answer it straight away for you. You can do the same thing with the start sit questions. So let's say I wanted to sync my team here and I wanted to know who I should start at every position this week. Well, that's another option for you. And then, of course, you can get the My Team. So if you don't want to be a yearly member, these are also options, even if you are a yearly member. Okay, so again, that little store icon is available to you for all of the things you're looking for. But let's get back to the team review. Sorry, I just wanted to, we always talk about the tools on the website. I just wanted to give people, an actual visualization of those tools.
No,
let's
great.
have a look here at this team. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for the support there. I think it was Dynasty Daddy. We appreciate you. He says, want to know what to do with this team to truly contend. Okay, so we'll have a look at it. It is a Start 11 Superflex Titan Premium, it looks like. And he is second on the board. I think Start 11 is probably 4 wide receivers. We'll definitely break that down.
Start 11, I can tell you right now, actually. Let's have a look. So Start 11, that's a pretty big league. You said so you can start 6 wide receivers in total in a Start 11. That's a larger league. That's a 12-man league as well. Yeah. So I imagine a lot of these teams are going to be pretty spread thin. So for him to be second in the rankings, I think he's doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at this team here. In his Superflex, CJ Stroud, Drake May, Justin Fields at the quarterback position. I think he kind of locked in right there, going pretty well. At the running back position, I think this is where it might be tough. Jonathan Taylor, and then there's no one else after that. You have Israel Abanikanda, Kenneth Gainwell, Isaiah Spiller, Deuce Vaughn. So there's no RB2 on this team, which might be okay. But I know you said you want to compete this year. That might be a hindrance to this team. At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 6 wide receivers. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Marlon Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, and then Josh Downs are your starting 6 wide receivers. However way you want to put that. Then you have Troy Franklin, McMillan, Wandell, Douglas. So look, you have some high upside guys. You're very top heavy at the wide receiver position with Jake Ferguson being there. You also have all your picks, it looks like, in 25 and in 26. I'll sort of right off the bat. I don't know about you, but if you want to compete in this team, with this team, you either going to down tier some of these wide receivers to get another running back, or you're not going to compete this year with this team, and you just have to wait until 2025, which is a stacked running back class.
Here's what I would say.
Just being completely transparent in my perspective.
Well, let's just start by giving him a team grade. A+, to an F. Okay, 12-man. Look, if you guys are looking at this team and your league is 10-man and it's a 10-team league and you have start 7, you're probably like, wow, this is a bad team. But in a 12-man start 11, this is not a bad team at all. This is a very good foundational team for a dynasty. Mm-hmm. But if I was to give you a grade from an A to an F, I'd probably say like B- range.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
You agree?
Yeah, because if he just had another running back, that could be Zamir White, James Conner, Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, Gus Edwards, Devin Singletary. This would definitely change things up. You just don't have an RB2 here.
Yeah. But we can look at that. I mean, okay, if you want to compete right now, Badaki's right. There's definitely some moves that you can make, but it's going to involve tiering down. Right now, your ideal lineup, remember, we can start 11 players. So it's probably CJ Stroud, Mayer Fields. Those guys might not start week 1. Okay? At running back, Jonathan Taylor and probably nobody. Yeah. At wide receiver, you are starting probably 6 names here. So Chase, Puka, Marvin, Flowers, Higgins, Downs. So actually, your wide receiver room is pretty good. And I think this is a really well-made team considering the format that you're in. And then you also have Jake Ferguson. So there's definitely a way we can field a team that we're competing this year. And I think that involves tearing down from CJ Stroud and tearing down from Jonathan Taylor. I think those are the two main names I would be looking at tearing down from. I want to stay strong at wide receiver because we can start so many. That's going to give you a huge advantage over your league mates. But if you do want to go out and compete right now, I think that for me, Badaki, that would be my main path moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
I completely agree there. So tear down from Stroud, JT. It's gonna be tough, I think, but we can definitely find ways to do that.
So just so everybody knows, Stroud has been someone I've been tearing down from in Dynasty. Badaki and I have both been really comfortable with this the entire offseason. And I don't know if the market is still in the same place, but I think it would be. Right now in Dynasty, CJ Stroud is ranked as a top 3 quarterback. Okay, so that is something that we can definitely take advantage of and look around our league for names. So why don't we look at potential teams that make sense for a tear down, Badaki, and we'll sort by quarterback from, I say, worst to best, and let's go from there maybe.
Yeah, let's have a look here. We're doing 2 for 1, so like a quarterback and a running back.
I think Kyler Murray is the first one that comes to mind for me with Scuba. So
yeah, I see that.
If we can go from Stroud to Kyler Murray plus something, I'll show you guys some examples this year of me myself doing this. Okay. Let me find this for you. So this is a trade I got done recently, earlier in the offseason, where I got Kyler Murray and Drake London sent away CJ Stroud in a Superflex league. I also did a similar one where I got Kyler the 101, a 26 first for Stroud and Zay Flowers. So every league is going to value players a little bit differently, but that's the kind of tear down we're looking for. So I think if you can do this deal, would you do like Kyler, Brooks? Let's say Kyler, Brooks, and then we add like D-Hop as like a kicker. Or would you want D-Hop to be someone different?
Yeah, I would want D-Hop to be someone different. I mean, how high can you get? You know, is Kirk too much, you think?
I don't know. What do you think? I think that might be asking too much.
I personally, it just depends on how people feel about Christian Kirk and having Brian Thomas Jr. there. I think there might be some opportunity to get Christian Kirk. He's still that quote-unquote younger player.
Well, you know what we could do to guarantee a competing year is go Brooks and Kamara.
Sure.
Right?
But even then, like...
definitely going to let us compete this year.
Yeah, that's definitely going to let us compete this year.
So if we get Kyler, Brooks, Kamara, let's add D-Hop as well on that as a kicker. Try that. Let's go from let's go in order of deals that we would prefer, and depending on how stubborn your league is, you can decide. So the number one deal I think you and I would like is Kyler plus Brooks plus Kirk, right?
Yeah.
The other option is Kyler plus Brooks plus Kamara. And then the other option is Kyler plus Brooks plus Kamara plus D-Hop. So we'll go in that order of preferences. All right, let's look at another team. How about, would you do like Jaden Daniels plus Waddle and JSN or something? Or Jaden Daniels and Kyron Waddle?
Yeah, I feel like if I'm going to do a trade, it has to be for a running back if I want to compete. Like, he specifically asked to compete this year. So I'm thinking of trying to find a quarterback and a running back duo that is going to get him something.
All right, let's put that out there as like a you send Stroud, you get Daniels, Kyron, and Waddle, and you're probably going to have to send something back.
Yeah.
So you might have to send, like, let's say Josh Downs back or something.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, let's keep going then. Just shout out any team that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Justin Herbert, but the running back room might be a little bit tough. I thought you could get Herbert and Kyron.
Jordan Love, we were tearing down to all offseason, but it's going to be much more difficult now that he signed that contract. And if you look at this team, there's really no value. Like, this. Imagine you could have been this guy, where your wide receiver one is Roman Wilson. So thank God you're not that person. But there's not a name there that makes sense to tear down to love for. Brock Purdy.
I think moving forward it might be a bit tough. Brock Purdy is tough.
Could you do Purdy and Nico as well as Monty?
Okay, that could be
I would
interesting.
do that. And the other option is if you need, hey, who's the kicker? Kicker will be Josh Downs. All right, I'll give you Josh Downs. All right. So that's a kicker if you need to get that done. I would do that. Would you do that if you could get Purdy, Nico, and Monty?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Love Nico, love Monty, love Purdy. Don't overthink it.
I don't know that you can tear down to A-Rich, but like if you could get A-Rich in London, I would do it as well. So we can throw that out there as an option.
Yeah, I think the rest might be tough because the only one I can see is...
Or even Burrow in that same deal, by the way, if you can get Burrow in London. Sorry, go ahead.
You can't tear down from Mahomes or Golf. Golf is too far down, and there's no one big enough on his team.
Yeah.
And then Josh Allen and Tua. I mean, Tua could be interesting. Would you do Tua and like Bijan?
Yeah, Tua and Bijan, I think makes sense. Actually, I would do that for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good call. Tua plus Bijan. If you can go that route.
The guy's name is the Tua Towers. Gosh.
We're trying to get better here. We're trying to get better, all right? We're trying not to fall into the easy jokes.
The Tua Towers. I might take that, low-key. That's terrible.
That's not bad. All right, so we've talked about CJ Stroud. Let's talk about a Jonathan Taylor tear down. And again, by the way, if you do want your team reviewed by us on a live stream, it's very, very simple, guys. There's two ways you can go about doing that. The first option is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I just put a link in the chat for you. Again, got to be a yearly member, have to use the code LAND, but you also get all the premium tools on the website. The other option is if you just want to purchase a team review, I'll put that link in the chat next. That's just to buy a single team review, and you don't have to become a member. We think the best value is being a member. It's the best bang for your buck, but let's continue here. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor. We want to tear down from Jonathan Taylor. I don't think the guy who has Gibbs and McCaffrey is going to be looking to tear down with Etienne. He's already got good room there. Tear down options. How about Saquon? Would you tear down to Saquon if it meant you could get... How about we want Russell Wilson because that's going to lock up the Pittsburgh room for us. We've already got Justin Fields. So let's grab Russell Wilson, Saquon Barkley, and we're also going to have to add...
We have to add one of them.
We have to add another running back, like a Pacheco or something.
Yeah.
So let's say JT for Russ Wilson plus Pacheco plus what, like Moss maybe?
Yeah, Moss or something along those lines.
I'd say the combo of Moss, Chase Brown. Or
this is tough.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to get done, to be honest with you. How about Achane? I tear down to Achane. If you could get like Achane and Bryce Young, Achane and... If you did Achane for... No, because that's not going to help us. I was going to try and involve the tight ends with Kincaid and Ferguson.
The team that I'm thinking of is Football Zeus.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Not Football Zeus. Chavo.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think in my head.
Okay, so Ken Walker and Reed, as well as maybe we
like
get Aaron Rodgers in that.
I mean, I don't know if I want a quarterback. I just want to get... I guess we technically need a quarterback as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
That's tough. I feel like what's hard about moving on from JT is that if I'm not getting two running backs and a quarterback, I feel like it's pointless.
I don't. Like, you can still use Reed as a trade piece if you want to turn that into a running back. He's just the most valuable name there. You know, it's not like you can't continue trading after that. So I think Reed, Kenneth, and Rogers, or Reed, Kenneth, and Zamir makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, Reed Kenneth and Rogers makes sense.
And by the way,
to
like
me.
you can send downs in some of these deals if you have to do it to get it done.
Send him in all the deals, brother. Come
We're
on.
not anti-downs, but he's just a name that ends up being very easy to talk about.
Wide receiver 2, by the way. I don't know if you saw the report.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Alec Pierce is going ahead of Adonai Mitchell currently, but we'll see what.
No, what our Dynasty channel told us that we had Adonai Mitchell too low in our Dynasty rookie rankings, and that it completely devaluated us as content creators. I don't know what's going on there.
Let's find out. I don't know. I mean,
it's too early to victory lap, by the way, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another option here though. Like the tear down options for JT are a little bit limited.
Yeah. The only thing I would do other than this, as much as I don't want to give away my picks, maybe even a 26 pick. Can I set a 26 second for
vets?
For vets, can I get Alvin Kamara? I don't know if you would do that for Zamir White. I know you're really big on Zamir White, maybe not long term.
So let's say our 25-second rounder, okay? If you can turn your 25-second rounder into what names? Let's create a list of names from our rankings that you would be comfortable trading for. I mean, Kamara comes to mind. I know you said Kamara. I'll add him. Mm-hmm. I would do it for Zamir. I know you said you'd sell Zamir for that. So there are people out there who would, right? We're meeting somewhere here.
Exactly.
Kamara, Zamir. I wouldn't do this for Connor. I wouldn't do this for Aaron Jones, but we can say a 25. We can say 2/3. Maybe could get you Aaron Jones.
I know you have a revitalization with Javonte.
Yeah, I would do this for Javonte. I'd take the shot on him. I want to see what other names come to mind in Dynasty. Let's see here. I'm just gonna look at my rankings real quick. Other names that come to mind would be like a Derrick Henry for sure, if someone's not valuing him because he's older in Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do this for a Mixon.
Monty. Yeah.
You would do it for Monty, okay?
Yeah, I would.
I don't mind it. I would.
I don't know if anyone's paying a first for Ramondre Stevenson, but I'll do it for Ramondre.
I think you'd have to pay 2 seconds for Ramondre.
Yeah. Give him a second, Josh Downs, maybe.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could do. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Second plus Downs. So those are some other options if you're going to go like the vet route. I'd say Aaron Jones is an option as a vet, as well as like James Conner if you're going to be able to send a third.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range of a third and a fourth, or maybe you have to stretch it to 2/3. But here's why I was trying to get a quarterback in for us. Even if you make some of these moves, who are you starting at quarterback to?
Yeah.
So that's why I was trying to force in like, all right, let's just go ahead and say what we think is the best deal that we've come up for him. Our number one deal we would want to pursue. Sure. To me, I think it's probably the Kyler move, where you get Brooks and Kirk.
Yeah,
Stroud.
I agree. So that's that will help you at the quarterback position. Well, technically, it doesn't help. You're down to the quarterback position. You get another running back, another wide receiver that you can then hopefully get.
Yeah.
Or you trade bait potentially.
I also like the idea of going from Stroud or Burrow to A-Rich in London if that's possible. That's going to give you a trade piece. So if you add London to the team, all right, now I can look at trading Flowers or Higgins. Like, what sort of running back can that get me? Does that get me a quarterback too I can rely on? And the other, so I think those are the main moves I would suggest if you want to go out and compete this year. You got anything else before we move on?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Trying to do some of those moves.
Well, that is going to be it for today, guys. We do appreciate you big time. Thank you for joining the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. Again, if you want your team reviewed, you know how to do it now. Check out the comments that we left in the chat for you. This will also be in the pinned comments later. If you're rewatching the stream, you can become a yearly member on the Flock Fantasy site with the promo code LAND. That gives you a complimentary team review. You can also just buy a single team review or a trade question, start sit question, whatever on the website. By the way, I see you, Dom. Sorry. I wanted to get through that review. He said, how did you guys link up with Flock? Mason from Flock Fantasy, great guy, reached out to us. what was this like?
Last
About
almost
a
is it
year
almost
and a
2
half
years?
ago now. Yeah, about a
Yeah,
year and a
almost
half
2
ago.
years. Yeah.
So I'd say like January of 2023 range, and just wanted to know if we wanted to collaborate on a website together. And it's been great, man. It's been great. Our team is big and it's very strong. Lots of smart minds. I think we have the best team in the industry.
Yeah, it's been
But
awesome working with Mason.
that is going to be it for today, guys. We appreciate y'all big time. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. All love.
Love.